Hey everybody, Rodamon here. Thanks for tuning in to the Philosopher King, a RimWorld royalty series about a benevolent ruler in a benevolent society. Here's a little recap of the rules and goals we've got for you all. And then of course the projects that I'm working on, that you voted on in the past, that I'm actually getting pretty close to getting done, so maybe we have a new vote this, probably this upcoming Friday, June the 5th. So, a little reminder to everybody that if you are a patron of mine, drop your suggestions for such a poll idea right into the forums for me. Thank you. Alright, so picking up where we left off, we have created a pretty nice protected base, I'd have to say. Things I'd want to add maybe is some additional marble tables and everything. I did mention that we had a rather large undertaking of repathing. Not looking so forward to that, to be honest. If I knew that this monument was so monumental, I may have not accepted it. It is ridiculously large. Like, just ridiculously large. That's okay. Let's continue with the block cuts and just plow on through there. I want to be a man of my word. We said that we would build this monstrosity, so we will get it built. What I think I'm going to do is not really add much tasks, alternative tasks to the queue here. I'll just let the guys build, you know. So they're building in like a little isolated box, and unfortunately, since this quest was accepted, they've actually made it easier, or not easier, but they've made the monuments more compact, and additionally they've made it so that you can rotate them when you want to. So, you know, I just accepted that one quest little too early, but that's all right. We'll get it done. And we'll push on. Here's another quest available. Some murderous polar bears. A pack of 53 polar bears. Oh, it's Gelly again. Of course it's Gelly. Why would it be anyone else? So there's a Link Zeus hammer in plasteel, or an architect arm in uranium. The first quest reward, even though it's valued less than the other one, might actually be the one I would want. So here's the thing. I right now am bottlenecked on why is everyone just like walking around? I guess they're just idle or something. What I'm gonna do is tell everyone to haul. We got a manhunting pack of bison coming in right now. What's with manhunters in this series? I mean, honestly, so many manhunters. It's so common. I guess it kind of sounds like a complaint, but like, my goodness, I get attacked by swarms of animals like daily. It seems. So I'm just going with the method of forbidding the doors. I guess if there's, honestly, if I was going to, I might as well just accept this. I wanted to pull in the limestone that's out there so that I could use it in building this monument. But clearly, if I already have manhunted animals here, I really ought to just accept the new manhunter quest, because, I mean, what's the difference between 50 bison out there and 50 bison and 53 polar bears? Now he says he wants to draw the polar bears to me to be killed. The thing is, I don't think I actually need to kill them. I think it's just, I want the, I mean, I could be wrong. And that would be, I guess, of concern. What I would do in that case is just pop my guys out in random spots of the wall and just blast as much as they could. God, my poor castle never catches a break. So instead of the project being build a monument, because I really don't have the limestone for it, I'm going to re-wall my my farms here, because I want to reclaim as much marble as I can. It's a very limited resource at this point. So the reason marble, I guess I never explained. If you take a look here on the beauty overlay, marble walls provide 1 beauty. If you look to here, as you can see, non-marble walls don't provide beauty. So it's the only stone wall that provides beauty the way it does, which is pretty useful if you ask me. Right now, I have everybody on super hauling, trying to clear out that farm field so that we don't have a bunch of spoiled corn. It's going to cause a lot of dirt and stuff, but yeah, that's fine. It's obviously a task that needed to be done. Now, another thing I could do is deep drill for marble, or for limestone. If we check here for the natural stone types, there is marble, limestone, and granite in the ground. So that means that it would be possible to deep drill for it. Of course, there's always a risk of bugs coming up when you deep drill for it. So it's something I wanted to avoid for that reason. But at the end of the day, getting the quests that I accept done and the tasks that you all voted on done matter quite a bit to me. At this point, what I might do is, let's go ahead with, I have a bunch of psychoid leaves. I'd like chocolate. It's too late in the season to benefit from that, though, right now. And here's the other Manhunter pack. I guess I should mark them down for hunting as well. Angelia, hopefully, yeah, I don't believe any are relatives of Death Command in Angelia. Let's hope. Alright, so parts of this are still getting built. I did have some limestone, just not a whole lot of it. And I believe Shay, there's only a few chunks left to even break down. I could, of course, cannibalize the base. You know, for instance, getting rid of limestone shelving in lieu of granite or something like that. But I don't know. I don't really like doing that if I could help it. Replacing these floors here with granite, making these wigs granite, but I don't know. I don't want to have to keep rebuilding work, right? I'll just leave it. Let it play out. A whole lot of weird, angry bison and bears. It's weird to see them working together, in a way. Because, although I could be wrong, I'm guessing polar bears do hunt bison. Maybe not as their primary food source, but I can't imagine that the apex land predator polar bear wouldn't kill bison for food. But here they are, both trying to kill me. You know, great. So we're just going to accelerate time and continue working towards our goals. One thing that I'd really like to find is some plasteel. Long-range mineral scanning might be a better solution to finding the plasteel I need than deep drills. If I could find some here as deep drills, that'd be amazing, and I'd start building... I would start being able to construct the arms and armor that Bubbaloo needs, and that Talon needs, and others. Oh, we must have cut some power. I was like, what's going on? Yeah, my deconstruct hit some cables and depowered a little. Alright, so these were going to just be granite. At the moment it says I don't have any granite walls. I know this to be bogus, or granite blocks. Actually don't have any, but that can easily change with this queue. Done. Alright, we'll cut a whole bunch of granite for this project. So the purpose of this is twofold. One, granite is a stronger material for construction. It will keep the farms a little bit safer. And two, well, to put it simply, I was just about out of marble and had nowhere to dig it up, so... So the other issue here is if I want a way to walk straight in here, I had to connect these things, right? So one of the ideas I had, although I really, truly do not have the materials to do this yet, is to expand the throne room down a little bit. Like that. Oh, that's not symmetrical at all. There we are. Expand the throne room down like this. Now, what it would do is it would merge parts of the throne room into the farm wall, but it would give us more room. So I think... Is all this is marble? Yeah. I don't want a lot of foot traffic in here though. So then we would create a path here maybe, rather than here, which takes a little bit longer, to be able to walk to the farm. Meaning that this light moves, these tool benches move, and then I put like the granite shelf there. Another thing I might do, just because I don't have a renewable source of plasteel, is all these plasteel doors that I made get broken down into regular doors. And then, you know, regular steel doors. And then when I have the plasteel resources, I can think about bringing that back. Now, the only problem with putting a ton of auto doors everywhere is, of course, they break down and require maintenance. This is, you know, so it can be pretty expensive to wall everything up like that, just to throw that out there, or to build rather with a bunch of auto doors. And some people, not me, I don't particularly find it offensive, but some people really hate the constant squishing noise. Again, it's not something that particularly bothers me, but I could get being bothered by it. So the one door I'm going to leave the way it is the Plasto outer door to the throne room. And then what I think I'm going to do is right here, I'm going to blow up this marble wall section so we can floor this up nicely. Because the throne rooms all need nice floors, so if we just immediately broke this wall down, it would become undignified. Or rather, it wouldn't really become undignified. What would happen is it would be less effective of a throne room, a meditation spot for Babalu. So if this here is the center point of our entire base, what I could do is put these doors here down here, continuing the center point. So something akin to that instead. Just so that we carry on that center point all the way down. Now, how's my meat? We're a little low on meat, but I don't think to the point where I need to go hunting these polar bears. That was really the prime question, I suppose. So we'll continue on that project and hopefully clear out these polar bears soon, get them just to leave, and we'll be able to then go back to the giant fortress-styled monument. Alright, so for the granite blocks, we really need to drop on the floor. Also, I'm not sure why okay, there we go. Shay is now pathing a lot more intelligently. I'm not sure what that was about before. We did free up enough plasteel for a cataphract helmet for Talon. And one thing I'm going to need to do is the ranged people should not be able to wear these. As you can see, Zero is immediately trying to put it on. One thing that was pointed out is that Babalu's Psycaster outfit also needs to include shield belts, so I'll get that on as well. Psycasters aren't necessarily required to be melee or ranged or anything. It's just the one we have, Babalu, is going to have a Psycaster staff, which is of course, melee weapon. Not much of a melee weapon, to be honest. It's pretty garbage, but it is what it is. So all I'm doing here is recentering the door. At some point, what I'm going to do is have all of the doors that are out here nice and centered. It's just not something I had concern for in the initial build. So we're getting the Southern Devil Strand farm walled up so that wild animals can't then eat it. I guess at this point that means I can remove the plans, the centerline plans. All of the animals that have, all the wildlife that I have, I don't know, these polar bears are still pretty pissed. They're pissed, but they're sleeping. All right. Note yourself, don't go out there yet. so now we're just cutting the rest of these granite blocks. I did research chocolate for the trees. One of the reasons I haven't built that yet, or planted them, is it's pretty late in the season and I would not see yields on it. Okay, I'm getting the door here. What I might end up doing is changing okay, hauling animals. Yeah, they're allowed to go through there. So I'm sort of brainstorming. I might actually remove the floors of my stockpiles so that my pets don't create filth when hauling to them, just to sort of further min-max the efforts. I know I floored them up and now I'm removing them. Don't worry, the irony of my constant destruction is not lost on me. So I'm going to add 2 auto doors to the tops and bottoms. And then I'm going to actually wall or continue the cables all the way around them, just so that there's redundant paths. That way, it's less likely that if the power's cut one place, it gets cut all places. And then I'll be repathing the animal haulers yet again, but this time to allow them to haul. Now, the only other issue here is there is some natural stone tile, which is going to create filth. So if I really, really wanted to min-max it, one thing I could do is... Okay, so there's literally one polar bear left that's angry. And here is my stuff. The linked weapon. And additional plasteel. Awesome. As far as the linked weapon goes, this is going to be linked to Talon, as he is our brawler. And the additional plasteel will be used to make advanced components and whatever else. Alright, so it is now bonded, which means if Talon dies, no one else can use it. Now there is, of course, this other hammer that I can equip on someone at some point. I have a lot of hay, so what I might end up doing is just turn these over, for now, to just dandelions as well. One continuous large dandelion tree. Alright, so what are you making? Oh, you're making a shield belt, yes. So Bubbaloo and Talon are both in shield belts, but this is a spare one, in case we need spares. As far as restrictions go, we should, yeah. Alright, as you can see, we are now hauling limestone back. So let me switch these back to limestone to get our limestone queue going. And that way we can work on the monument. Other nice to haves would be, let's go ahead with granite shelves here. I guess I can't really place it on the other side, so I'll just put one. This is going to be for weapons of mass destruction, basically. For triple launchers, just for weapon swaps. More or less. So, here, let's decide what goes in them. Ranged weapons. We're going to say assault rifles and triples, sniper rifles, bombardment targeters, if I have any, doomsday launchers, miniguns, maybe an incendiary launcher. And this is so that out front of our base, we can quick swap weapons around. And we can reliably know where the weapons are. And that way they're not just stored in some you know, depot way down south. which should help out with changing weapons around. So animal haulers. You are now a hauler. Death command. Even though you're 0. An Imperial trader coming in. This is not a tribute. They actually will have trade items, which is great. I'm all about that. Okay, so we do have a spare cataphract helmet. What I think I'm going to do is... yeah, I'll leave it for now. It would be good for my regular guys to wear it. The cataphract helmets don't have any penalties. They don't have speed penalties, sight penalties. They don't have any penalties whatsoever, which is great. Whereas the cataphract armor will make you slower, physically slower. So you got to be careful about how much armor you wear, because if you can't outrun your enemies, you're in a lot more danger than you think. And there is a... oh boy. Mech Hive landing on top of me. So, first thing, I'm just going to pause it for a second. Area 1. I want Angelia and Danishi, because they are way too close, to go into Area 1, which is an enclosed, walled-off area. Then, I want everybody else to go north, except for Chris, who's going to bolt. Oh man, there are 3 in there? Okay, actually, Chris, you get to cover 2. So, is there... Ervanath, go in there. So there is a valid path for these mechs to get out, as you can see. So they won't be bashing their way out. So it seems like there's 8 drop pods. And they are quite mixed. Some of different dangers. Vredog, are you going to be able to get there in time? Yeah, I think you are. So this is going to be a bit of a reverse kill box. There is, of course, the possibility of using my visitors. Actually, before I oh, Damien and Klein. All right, I don't think they're gonna get there in time. So area 2 up there for Klein and Damien. So prior to entering this fight, I would just like to do some trading, because there's no telling that these guests will survive. As grim as that sounds. But it's true. I'm looking if there's anything that I've got they can part with. I could sell off these shells for some money. I'm trying to think if that would be worth it. Or I could sell the cloth too. I'm not using it at the moment. And the packaged survival meals. That makes for good trade items, I guess. Now, they're not selling any hops or uranium to me. I could sell a ton of the wood. Let me sell all but 200 of it, because I could cut wood down. And let's go for... tech. We're now allied because we traded. Yeah. There's basically a 0 possibility of making it to cover in time. Alright, this should be on. So Scythers and lancers and the like. Two centipedes. Of course, these guys have valid paths to get out. The beautiful thing about that is they're going to take a while. I'm just going to redraft Chris and Evernath because I don't want them undrafting themselves. Alright, the centipede's going to be a little annoying. I think this will be pretty easy to clean up, to be honest. And this pod drop was obviously targeting on Chris. It was centered on him. Alright, so there's 3 total centipedes. That's... Uh-oh. Oh no, that's really bad. The granite door is open. So, Pukesberry. You're the smallest. I'm having Pukesberry trigger the door closed. It worked beautifully. Now, for doors to close, it has to be an owned allied pawn. So you can't obviously work that trick with enemy units. Now, there is a possibility of these turrets are doing damage to me. But I accept the... Oh, wow, you... How did you get... how did you get in there? What open path did you have? Oh, yes. I hadn't finished this door. Clearly it walked right in. And you guys are deciding to bash my power grid down. Let's see if Chris could do something about that. Because I very much don't want that to happen. Alright, back on the eye and the ball. Alright, so... the Lancer's just shooting something random. Alright, I'm going to go on the assault now. Because the rest of the mechs seem to be coming into my base. Chris, you move at 3.4. You move at 1.7. I've injured that Scyther to the point where it is not going to be able to run me down. Alright, let's turn off these turrets. And... perfect. I was hoping that Talon would reach it in time. Prevent it from using its incendiary launch capabilities. Now, is there a no, maybe there isn't a Lancer uncalled for. And that one's dead. Talon go for the other one. Keeping an eye on Chris. Chris, you move north. So they they damaged some stuff in the base. One of the ways to avoid this for the future would be to set up your base so that you've got turrets in it and around it. All right, stun you. There we are. And now it is just, I think, just the Scyther and the Centipede that is getting the smackdown. Alright, Scyther is dead. I believe that would be it. Talon's bedroom is going to need a little bit of love, because right now it's not a bedroom. And obviously this door needs to get put in. But no one got hurt, and it was a mech hive that landed on top of me, so a a success, I think. All of the additional animal grazings I can then remove. I don't, or not animal grazings. All the additional zones that I had temporarily painted for safety, I can get rid of. A lynx revenge. Oh, Denishi is eating it. Okay, well, we win, I guess. Denishi probably got hungry, being put into isolation. For safety's sake. Okay, so there's a little bit of cleanup to do. Just a little bit. And some of these doors, like this one, this steel auto door, doesn't need to be forced open. It is an auto door. The reason I have auto doors is to allow for quick freedom of movement. As you can see, my pets are helping to haul in the slag. Ooh, a gift of steel club and crepe. Well, thanks, I guess. Barely. Let's apply this tech print before it stays out there for too long. There we go. Applying a tech print, just a little reminder, does increase the intellect. So I knew that Bubbaloo was lagging behind Chris a little bit. Chris bypassed him. He's at 18, Bubbaloo's at 16. So applying that tech print helped to level off the skill levels just a little bit. As far as assignments go, I think Bubbaloo's current meditation assignments keep him nice and charged. So I'm happy with that. We'll leave it. Okay, the other sort of pseudo armory, because I don't have armory as a goal, I haven't built one. There's a lot of things that I would maybe potentially put in to my bases, but because they aren't goals, I haven't. Like armories, for instance. So as far as this giant monument goes, yeah, I have 29 days left to work on it. That's quite a lot of time, so I'm not that worried about that. So another thing I could do to maximize work is the natural tiles out here that are going to build up filth just because you do build, you create filth walking on them. I can unhome zone them because they'll never house a fire, right? You can't have fire on stone. And if I don't want to constantly be cleaning up Mother Nature, that one's fine. I could just set it up like this so that we don't end up in a scenario where we have to deal with the filth. And that includes these zones up here. This is just maximizing my effort so that the few people that live in this giant castle, really what it comes down to is a giant castle requires considerable upkeep, right? I mean, there's a lot of work to keep the bigger the house, the harder it is to keep it clean. So all of my current efforts of rezoning animal hauling and all that is just to make sure that our house is in order and stays clean. So the animal hauling zones, I'm going to allow them through the doors now and not through the farm. And there's some spots that they're going to be allowed or able to build up some filth, but far fewer than before. It's obviously getting better with time. Now that these buildings literally connect in multiple places, we'll reroute the power and keep it from exposed cable. Let's zoom out a second. Any other stone zones that I don't want to keep clean? No, that about sums it up. Nice. Well, that should be a lot less work for our cleaners, I think. Now, the other big issue is I have a very limited amount of marble blocks. But, of course, I have to fine tile up this area here. It's going to be more marble than I have, which is another reason to re-floor and wall up my farms. To reclaim some marble. The tiles you can reclaim, you know, 3/4 of the material you put in. The flagstone, I don't have any marble flagstone, but flagstone, once you put flagstone down, you can never reclaim it as blocks. It just becomes impossible. And do a little bit of min-maxing. Might look a little ugly, but... Alright. As you can see, this giant monument is getting constructed, albeit slowly. As we crank out more and more blocks. And the purpose of the light here is to illuminate the work zone so that they can not fail at construction. We also shredded I think we shredded all the mechs already, so I don't see them stockpiled. One thing that I could do here is a stockpile zone of dead mechs, because this is accessible to our animal haulers, and it's right next to the table at which we would want to shred them. So that allows the animal haulers to deliver mechs to our machinery table. And then the animal haulers also can deliver slag and really everything else. Alright, looking good. Our meat is probably, yes, it is indeed a little low. I will need to do a bit of a hunt at some point. But this is a episode of mega construction, so I'll just continue that. Now, a lot of these cut plants that I had queued up with Yanshui is not all that necessary. I'll be frank and honest. It's more the fact that I don't want trees to grow in this zone to slow us down, because constructors that don't have skilled plant cut won't be able to clear trees efficiently. They're actually really terrible at it. Okay, I could probably leave this door open now. But I will have to remember that the door needs to close when invaders come. So after my current research of piano, which is going to be the last instrument that we'll put into the royal room, we'll get the artificial metabolism. I like to try to max out my research tree as just a personal goal, feeling like, yes, indeed, I researched everything. And now that there is now that there are so many unlockable researches, it's even more worthwhile of a goal, I think. I don't care about how filthy... Oh, mad boom rats. I don't really care about how filthy the patio area of the corner, but I do want to repair the walls. Okay, let's go ahead and tag the crazed boom rats for hunting. I think 2 of them are in the northeast, coming at Mathis. Poppy, could you back them up? Sometimes it's hard to shoot small creatures. They're, you need considerable skill. There's 1 in our front gate. I'll just leave the turrets on. There's 1 attacking Pukesberry and Danishi. Aronath, you're a pacifist, so not going to be that helpful there. Where's this one going? There it goes. We're going to have a little bit of forest fires, I think. But I'll try to avoid being burned. Alright, Yanshui. Oh, the other ones are going to the kill box. So actually, Yanshui, go back to whatever you were doing. Nope, time to move, time to move. Poppy's getting bit. Didn't move in time. I'll just have Poppy run the boom rat in circles. There we go. And then, I think, yep, that's it. That's all of them. Please say the one bite I got. Okay, just a little bruise. Sometimes the bite is like, oh, so, you know that one bite you got? It bit out your eye. Like, that happens. Really, really sucks. I've had that happen with just tiny creatures. Oh, and then there's another Ibex doe that wants to take a chunk out of me. And Chris will take it down, I think. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Easy peasy. Well, guys, this episode ran a little late, but that's all the time I have. So again, if you have any feedback for me, do drop me a line in the comments below. If you're a patron of mine, please take the time to think of a goal for me to add to the poll coming up on this Friday. I do have some other decisions, some other things for all of us to vote on the polls as well. One that I considered is allowing our second royal title holder to obtain the Psycast level some other way, probably through tribal meditation or something like that, but we'll see how the vote goes. Thanks for watching, everybody. I really appreciate it. I'll catch you all next episode. Farewell.